My beloved child, sit with me, my precious one. I see you, even when you have no words left. When your prayers have turned into weary sighs, I hear them all. Even when you collapse unseen, when your eyes have dried up and your heart is but a pile of shattered pieces, I am still here. You think every door has closed. You're tired of trying, of believing, of loving, of holding on to hope, the very hope that once burned bright inside you, now flickering faintly like a dying ember. You've been strong for too long, so long that your strength has become a mask cold and heavy that even you no longer recognize yourself behind it. But let me say this, and I beg you, don't miss it. I have never left you, not for a single second. I was there the night you wanted to give up everything. I was the one who kept your heart beating, who held back that destructive thought from becoming reality. You don't know how you've made it this far, but I do, because it was I who cradled your soul as it fell into the abyss, not to shame you, but to shield you. You thought I was silent, but the truth is, I've been whispering all along. You just couldn't hear me. Through the storm, you thought you had wandered too far, but I see you closer than ever, because it's in this very moment, when everything else has fallen away, that there's finally room for me to enter. I did not come to scold you. I came to catch you. You may cry. You may not believe. You may even be angry with me. But still, I choose to stay. My child, lift your eyes. Just once more. You once had dreams. You once believed you were created for something beautiful. But the wounds, so many of them from family, from friends, from this world, and from within have squeezed that out of you. Now, you're afraid to believe again, but I still hold the original promise I made to you, and I've never revoked it. You think you're no longer capable, that you've messed up too much, but I don't see you through the lens of failure. I see you through the light of love, a love that is unconditional, unchanging, and unending. I don't require you to be strong. I don't need you to prove your worth. I just ask for one honest heart, one real exhale, one soul willing to let me touch it. And if today the only thing you can utter is, "Lord, I can't do this anymore," then I say, "Good, you've stopped, so I can begin." Resurrection doesn't begin with triumph. It begins in the tomb. You are in a dark place, but it is exactly there that I create new life. Do not let the darkness deceive you into thinking you are dead. No, you are being remade. A seed cannot sprout unless it is buried. A soul cannot be healed unless it surrenders. I am still writing your story with invisible ink made of silence, but soaked in love. You are not finished. This is only the turning of the page. Do not judge your life by the chapter filled with tears. There are things I'm preparing that you cannot yet imagine, because if I showed you now, you wouldn't believe you're worthy. But I believe, and that is enough, for I chose you before you ever thought of me, before you ever learned to speak my name in prayer. You are mine, even if you reject me, even if you turn from the light, even if you trust no one, not even yourself. You are still mine, and I still want you. I still love you. I'm still searching for you, not because you are perfect, but because I still see value in what you call ruins. I am calling you home, not to the place you once were, but to the truest part of your heart, where you are brave enough to admit your weakness, and let my love begin the work of resurrection. I do not need your effort. I need you to believe you are still loved. And now, if you have only one final word to say to me, let me say mine first. I am here, I see you, and I will never let go. Amen. My beloved child, if you don't know where to go, just come to me, my dear one. I know there are days when you wake up with no prayer on your lips, not because you don't believe, but because you're too tired to believe. You walk through life as if you were in the wrong place, inside the wrong body, carrying a soul that feels empty. You smile to keep others calm, but deep inside, you feel hollow. You feel like a lost guest in the very life that was meant to be yours. The dreams you once held now feel like chalk dust on your hands, beautiful, but impossible to keep. And so you begin to ask, what am I doing, Lord? Where am I supposed to go? And you, are you really there? I hear it all, and I answer you not with judgment, but with love. You don't need a clear path. You only need to know I'm holding your hand, my child. There will be stretches in life where no signs appear, crossroads with no answers, dreams shattered, and you won't even know where to start picking up the pieces. In those moments, you'll think you've gone the wrong way, but what you don't realize is I have walked into the wilderness with you. I am not waiting for you at the end of the perfect road. I walk beside you in the mud of doubt, through the forest of pain, across the desert of emptiness, and I keep whispering, keep going, just one step. With me, I don't need you to know everything. I just need a heart that's still willing to return. Guidance doesn't always come as blinding light. Sometimes it's peace in the midst of confusion. There will be seasons where you feel nothing, no belief, no hope, no sign from heaven, and you will think, I've gone silent. But no, I'm teaching you to listen in a new way, not with your ears, but with your soul, not through what's outside, but through the stillness within. I do not lead by pressure, I lead by presence. Even if you walk slowly, even if you stop, even if you lose your sense of direction, I am still there, closer than your next breath. You are not abandoned. You are being led, my precious one. Remember this. If you were ever placed in my hands, then no detour is beyond my reach. If you were ever called by me, then no failure can cancel that calling. If you were ever mine, then no silence or mistake can turn me away. Let me be your compass, not by a perfect map, but by daily trust. And one day you will see you were never truly lost. You were just being guided through a curve that led you back to yourself. This journey is not about becoming like someone else. It is about returning to the original image I created in you, your true self, meaningful, irreplaceable. I am not in a hurry. I do not force. I do not give up. And even if you don't feel ready, I am ready to begin again with you. Today, right now, all I need is for you to say, Father, I'm still here. I'll do the rest. And one day, not far from now, you'll look back and whisper, so it turns out, the moment I thought I was lost, I was actually being led closest to you. You are not broken. You are being healed. My beloved child, I know. There are days when you can't even look at yourself in the mirror, not because the mirror is unclear, but because your eyes are clouded by lies spoken over you. You're not good enough. You're a burden. You'll never change. You're a mistake that should be hidden. You've heard those words too many times, from others, from old wounds, and over time, they became the voice inside your head. I see you trying. I see you pretending you're okay. I see you smile. While inside, there's a flood of shame and sadness. But now, let me remind you of a truth you've forgotten. You are not broken. You are not a leftover. You are not useless. You are a creation that carries the breath of heaven, someone I dreamed of before the world began. You don't need to become someone else. Just return to the true self I made you to be. You think you have to change, to be loved, to be perfect, to be accepted, to meet a standard, to be worthy. But, my child, I loved you before you ever knew how to do right. I chose you before you had the wisdom to choose well. I called your name even when you were lost in wounds and disappointment. I don't need your strength. I need your truth. The one who has scars, but still wants to believe. The one who still doubts, but wants to come close to me. That is the one I love. Fully. Completely. Your wounds don't make you ugly. They make you deeper. I know what you've been through. The times you were abandoned. The words that cut deep. The small moments that fractured you from the inside. I don't deny your pain. And I won't tell you to just be strong, like the world does. No, I invite you to sit with me, cry with me, speak honestly, without fear. And in that space, you will see, I do not despise your wounds. I touch them with gentleness, not to make you forget, but so you no longer have to hide. Because the very place where you feel damaged is the place where I will pour my sacred healing. Your weakness doesn't push me away. It draws me closer. You've thought for too long, I have to be stronger, more successful, more lovable, to be near God. But my love has no conditions. I came to you in your confusion. I stayed with you when you felt worthless. I listened to you even when you were too afraid to speak. Your weakness does not disappoint me. It only makes me hold you tighter. Your worth is not rooted in your past, but in the one who breathed life into your soul. You may have done wrong. You may have made the worst choices. You may have lost sight of who you are, but you have never lost your worth, because your worth doesn't come from how well you perform. It comes from the one who created you out of everlasting love. You are not meaningless. You are living proof that restoration is real. And if your heart still aches as you read these words, then I know you still long to be healed. I won't force. I won't rush. I am simply here, waiting if you choose to return. All I need is for you to say, Father, the first no longer know who I am, but I still want to believe I matter to you. And I will whisper, you are my precious jewel. Even if you've fallen, even if you've been shattered, you are still my treasure, irreplaceable and beloved. My child, I know you are tired, my precious one. I see how you wake each morning with a sigh, not from sleepiness, but because you're unsure if you have the strength to keep going. You still go to work, you still smile, you still reply to messages with heart emojis, but inside is a nameless storm, a storm not from the outside, but one that lives within. It's made of unanswered questions, of loneliness among crowds, of exhaustion you don't even dare to name. You think I don't see, but I follow every breeze that brushes your soul. I don't overlook that empty gaze as you stare into space. I don't ignore the whisper you mutter in the night. I don't even know why I'm alive anymore. I hear even what you cannot say. I see the tears you swallow down. You think you have to be strong, to hold it all together, to keep moving. But my child, I did not create you to carry everything alone. If you are in the storm, know this: I am in it with you. You are not lost. You are just at a bend in the road no earthly map can chart. You are not abandoned. You are being drawn into stillness to hear my voice again. You are not failing. You are learning to stand without the applause. And this storm, no matter how fierce, it cannot sink you as long as I'm in your boat. I am the one who calms the wind and silences the waves. And I am here. You don't have to understand the whole path. Just trust that I'm leading. Maybe today you don't know the next step, can't see the way out, can't feel direction, but I'm not asking you to know everything. I just ask for one step of faith, one small step, one honest prayer, one moment where you look up and whisper, Father, I'm so tired, but I still want to believe. And I will say, well done, beloved. I will carry you through this part. You don't need to walk it alone. Just take my hand. In the storm, you don't learn to control everything. You learn to lean on me. The world taught you to take control, but I'm teaching you this instead. Letting go is also a form of strength. When you let go, I can take hold. When you surrender, I can fight for you. When you admit your weakness, I become your true strength. For my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. The storm didn't come to destroy you. It came to reveal what you're anchored to. If you feel unsteady, ask yourself, what is anchoring your heart? Recognition, reputation, people, or me? I allowed the wind not to sink you, but to show you that only when you're anchored in me will you not be swept away. And in the very headwinds you will rise, because my wind does not come to crash you, it comes to lift you into new skies. You are not abandoned in the storm. You are being remade within the wind. The biggest storms don't destroy. They strip away old shells to reveal the true seed inside. You think you're breaking, but you are bending so you don't break. You think you're losing everything, but you're being cleared out to receive what's better. And then the wind will calm, the clouds will part, and you will say, your grace was enough for me. The storm has passed, and I am still here stronger, deeper, and more beautiful than ever. My child, I know why you haven't stepped forward yet. Not because you don't want to move, not because you lack faith, but because your fear was once right. You once trusted someone and were betrayed. You once started something and it crumbled. You once hoped deeply and were shattered. So now, even when opportunity comes, even when someone says, go for it, you hesitate because you wonder, what if it breaks again this time? I do not blame you for being afraid, but I don't want fear to imprison you. I see your hands tremble at the door of something new. I see your feet take a step back, even though your heart wants to move forward. I see the way you look at the future cautious, as if good things weren't meant for you. But my child, hear me, you are no longer a child of the old season. The old season was for learning. The new season is for living. The old season was where you broke. The new season is where I take those broken pieces and crown you with them. Not everything that once hurt you will repeat, especially when I'm holding your hand. I don't promise that every path will be paved with roses, but I promise you will never walk alone. You once walked in ignorance. Now you walk in wisdom. You once ran in fear of missing out. Now you walk forward knowing you were chosen. You once tried to prove yourself. Now you walk in confidence that I have already approved you. And this time, no one can take away what I've given. No one can close the doors I have opened. No one can cancel what I have confirmed. You don't have to be certain to step. You only need to be faithful in each small step. Don't wait until fear is gone to begin. Begin even when you tremble, because obedience in trembling is still obedience. I'm not waiting for you to be perfect. I only need one small yes, a real one. Yes, Father, even though I cannot see the whole road, I trust you, the one who has held my hand from the very beginning. This new door is not a reward for being worthy. It's simply the next step in the journey I already planned. You don't need to be better than anyone. You don't need to prove your worth. You only need to stand in the place I've prepared at the time I've appointed. You're not stepping in because you're ready. You're stepping in because I've called. And when I call, every lack in you will be covered by my faithfulness. Don't let old experiences steal the promise of something new. Old wounds are not prophets of your future. They're reminders that you've lived and learned. And now, as you prepare to step into a new chapter, don't let the voice of your wounds whisper, you're just going to get hurt again. Let my voice whisper louder. This time, I'm going with you, and I won't let anything reach you that hasn't first passed through my hands. This is not an invitation to a safe road, it's a call into sacred purpose. You were not born just to survive, but to fulfill the purpose I placed in you, not just to breathe, but to live with meaning, not just to be healed, but to lead others to healing. And this new chapter is the doorway into that fullness. You're not walking forward because you're fully ready. You're walking because you've been broken enough to be humble, taught enough to walk wisely, and loved me enough to trust even when you still cannot see.